that our country is poor in all these three, but this is the greatest limitation of the new education policy. When you're talking about the student ratio, right, teacher ratio, and that is very poor. Student versus teacher ratio, that is very, that tremendously need to be implemented. For example, even back at Usman University, I think our sanctioned intake of the teachers is 1200 approximately, little more than 1200, and this was 50 years back of Usman University, which we have celebrated 100 years. But nowadays, courses are increased, students are increased, but now the faculty strength is a little less than or little more than 400. And where is the 1250 sanctioned one? Courses are increased, sections are increased, requirement is increased, demand is increased. But now there is no recruitment. And 2013 was the final recruitment in Usman University. And till now, there is no recruitment. Now the big question is about the student versus this. This is the need. This is not only the higher education, even for the school education, there is a greater limit for this one. And they says, and up to 5th class, that need to be taught in mother tongue. This is very welcome. I never say that mother tongue need to not to be undertaken, but this is very important. And here, what is happening actually, and introducing a mother tongue, India is such a country, and with the various religions, various languages, and whether it is possible to publish all the required material with a qualitative one in all the languages. That is the biggest limitation of this one. But however, my dear friends, I'm sure that, but the change is inevitable. And I cannot talk about the limitations, and let us see the bright future with this new education policy. And even certain limitations are there. I am very confident that these limitations may be overcome once you start the implementing this one. But one greatest limitation I have seen, and they have announced the new education policy, the document has been released, but we are able to discuss on that document only. But what the government should have done it, and before the finalization of the final document, they have given the opportunity to, like, taking the feedback that they have done it, but they should have given some more time, and to give the excellent feedback. Like Srinivas people, they must be conducting this kind of several seminars and also recommend to the government for the education policy. However, I am thankful to the Professor Srinivas Reddy. I am congratulating Lion Krishna Reddy Garu and his team, and for organizing this kind of seminar. And I'm so happy. And recently also I faced a COVID, and now I'm COVID negative, getting a lot of cough. But it's my lucky, during my speech I could not get any cough. That's my lucky and the participants lucky. And Renu madam, how are you?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. Thank you. And hope you will also keep yourself well for this education system, which is very important, and for your family.
That's what I told you, madam. I joined in commerce stream, and I am so happy that I will become doctor, because I hailed from such a poor village. After 3 months, I came to know that commerce student cannot become a doctor. But at least this new education policy and the streams are not important. The candidate's interest is more important. That's what they have given this lot of importance. Yes. And I wish you all the best, Mrs. Srinivas Reddy, and also personally thankful to you as a personal friend for giving this kind of opportunity. And anytime that if you want some inputs about the new education policy, kindly inform to me. And if students also, somebody wants, they can take my email address from Srinivas Reddy, and you can put some queries to me, and I'm very happy to answer. And I wish you all the best, all the participants, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a wonderful remarks. Very much. You gave a good opportunity with a busy schedule. Now another speaker, and welcome Renu madam. Now she's the wonderful. Now over to Dr. Sukanya madam. Introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Renu.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all the distinguished speakers, principal, faculty, and my dear students. I feel it as a privilege to introduce Dr. Renu, Associate Professor in Vidya Jyoti Institute of Higher Education, Chandigarh, which University. She has more than 15 years of experience and have taught several subjects, specialized mainly in human resource management. She has chaired various national and international conferences and also presented various papers across the globe in several conferences. She is also an editor and reviewer for various journals of national and international repute. She also has published 3 textbooks. She is a very passionate academician who has been conferred with Academician Award and Best Female Achiever Award in Education. And she is also a course content developer in Vidyamitra, an integrated e-content portal of MHRD for the subjects of human resource management and organizational behavior. Thank you, ma'am. I thank you for giving us the time to let your speech to educate us on the national educational policy. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, good afternoon and namaskar to each and every eminent professional who is on this panel, who spare their time and join this beautiful webinar, which is organized by Dr. Reddy and by the college. No doubt, before initiating towards this session, I would like to humbly convey my thanks to Dr. Reddy and to Principal Sir, Professor, for organizing this wonderful webinar on the really recent topic, that is National Education Policy 2020. To be honest, this is a wonderful opportunity for me also to read the National Education Policy 2020, that after all, we all are the stakeholder of this policy. We must be able to understand, we must know after all what this policy is, why the policy is framed. After 1986, then 1992, 1993 modifications, amendments. After all, what is the need to frame this policy? Why they think of to frame the policy, and what are the actual modifications? And most important, when sir called me, I was keen interested to find out, after all, in this whole policy, what is for me as an academician? Because every time we feel like how to get the good research work, or how to get the compensation, reimbursements, and whether our institutes are going to promote us for all that stuff or not. Anything for the teacher is there or not, because first of all of us are academicians. So that helped me to read about all that stuff. And more so, I also humbly pray and hope all of you as well as your family members mental well-being and health well-being, as in this pandemic situation and the epidemic situation, everyone is facing somehow one or two problems. And I wish all of you to stay safe and to be connected always through nowadays through this online or through the e-platform, about which the MHRD also focuses a lot. And in this policy also, it emphasizes that let us connect through globe, and that globe with the help of the technology. More technological advancement is required. I hope the promises, the dictating promises that the MHRD or this policy, whatever the policy is assuring us, they are really very attractive, related to the teaching, learning, innovation techniques, and they are propelling to the global standards to create the new benchmarks. I hope by 2040 or by 2030, we will be able to attain these goals. Whereas we all know very well that where the quality of the human capital, that is a touchstone of the education in any country. So on the other side, I came across that where our sustainable development goal, that is the SDG goal 4, that is of their agenda is related to the quality education. And in this policy, it focused more on the quality education, teaching, learning centric, research centric universities, skill focused universities. It focused a lot on these things also. Above all, I came across that where our SDG goal that is related to the inclusive and the equity education, or to promote the lifelong learning opportunities, to attain that lofty goal, they are saying that our policy is framed on that SDG goal, that is the Sustainable Development Goal. Whereas on one side, in the earlier policy, in 86 policy, we generally focus on that teaching, classroom teaching only, not related to mentoring, not related to counseling, not related to emotional mental well-being. That is focused in this one, this new policy. They also focused on this thing that now the need is to create the cognitive critical thinking among the students. And definitely on the another side, the amazing point which enthralled me a lot when I came across that they are also focusing, they are also saying this thing that for the teachers too, this this kind of the trainings, these kind of the trainings are also vital, and these should be imparted to the teachers for in the form of the short-term capsule program or in the form of the short-term trainings. Whereas on the another side, when we came across, the world is moving across and moving towards this knowledge landscape, and India is that country having a hub of the talent, but the need is to explore the talent. But on the another side, I will definitely agree to this point, which is actually ignored, as Dr. Saab has already said, that what about the resources? What about the resources? The India is in the education system, we are facing the problem of the scarcity of the resources, the scarcity of the educational resources. From where we will find that? Even right now in the colleges, we found that we are able to find out that only one conference room is there, or LEDs or LCDs, we have very limited resources are there. Then how to impart and how to utilize that thing? About these things, the policy is bit silent, which they should consider. I'm not saying that these are the limitations, but definitely they should also consider about how to generate the resources, how the fund to be generated, and how to help the educational resources, educational institutions, or to develop the higher education system more stronger. Whereas the growing emergence of the epidemic or the pandemic is there, the collaborative research system, social issues, they are also focused in the learning system. They also focused on the multidisciplinary learning, and they said that let us create a vibrant talent. So how to create the vibrant talent in India while considering the Indian ethos, they also focused on this point. Along with this, the three issues which they consider in the policy, that is Janan, Pragya, and Satya, means in English, it is knowledge, wisdom, and truth. In the education policy, to frame a good human being, a good citizen who is going to serve to the global level. So more so in the case of the pedagogy, they also try to focus that how to be creative, how to be multidisciplinary, and how to make the education system more experimental, more holistic and integrated aspect. That is very important, which they also focused. Now, how to find out that gap? They also consider this point, the gap between the current state of learning and the outcomes, that to be considered, and the reach through that with the help of the vocational courses or with the help of the highest quality and the integratory system is required from the childhood care to the higher education care. Sir, will you be allow me to share the PPT?
Already chance is there. You are co-host. You can do it.
Okay. So in this, the aim of the policy is also focused on to let us create a Shresth Bharat or a Vishwa Guru, which I don't know what will happen in 2030, but the policy focus on these 2 points. And along with this, with the growing development in the imperative of the country, this policy is basically focusing on changing the education structure, as well as on focusing on the Indian traditions, focusing on the Indian traditions as well as on the Indian system. Is it visible, sir? Sir, is it visible?
It's coming, madam.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for support. Now, as I talk about in this policy, the policy development is related to the creation of the potential in each and individual, and to focus on social, ethical, emotional. Whereas in the higher education system, as I have already written, this national education policy is the Indian education to a global standard. They are looking for, the focus is to attain the global standards and to create this sustainable livelihood and the economical development of the nation. As the India is actually going to become a large knowledge economy, and the society is more and more having the young Indians, the skilled Indians, they are likely to aspire the higher education. Now, in this higher education in the 20th century, the aim of this higher education is to develop a good, thoughtful, or I can say a overall all-rounded individual. The focus is also to create or to develop the Indian ethos, develop a character or the intellectual curiosity in among the individuals, or I can say the productive contribution towards the society is focused in this. Whereas they find out, it is observed that the major problems are there. The major problems which are currently faced in our education system, on the basis of that, the policy is actually framed, which includes the several fragmented higher education core system is there. This emphasizes on the development of the cognitive skill and the learning outcomes. On these points, they actually work on it. They actually frame the policy. Along with this, the limited access to the social economic disadvantage area with less teach in the local language. As earlier the sir also said that point, the local languages is actually focused, but after all, on the another side, that limitation is actually there, but still they face. I also pinpoint on this point that already we are in every state, we are teaching to the student one local language, but no doubt each subject is not in that local language, which they emphasize. The limited teachers and the institutional autonomy, which is also covered by sir, that teacher limitation is there, number of students are more, teacher is not as per that. So the ratio of the teacher to the student, they focus. Inadequate mechanism, that is the merit based or the career management and the progression of the faculty, that is focused. Less emphasizes on the research was there, so that's why they focus on that point. More research orientation, research intensive, even teaching learning intensive programs should be framed. And the teachers, they should feel that they are also counseled, they are also along with that, they are also not only counseled, but they are also mentored to go proceed for the higher education. And the governance and the leadership of the higher education system in India, an ineffective regulatory system, these were the problems. The universities are with the low standards of the undergraduate education, which we all know, and I think we all are facing. Now the vision to frame this policy, or I can say to overcome those shortcomings of the previous policies. In this new education policy 2020, the focus is to develop a holistic individual, skilled nation, or to create a nation as a India as a Vishwaguru, with that I talk about, and which is related no doubt by the recent point of the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. He said about Atmanirbhar Bharat. a bit link is that, and to make the India a global knowledge superpower. But again by 2030. Now the education system, also rooted in Indian ethos, contribute towards transforming the India and the India to be treated as Bharat. The new digital platforms, either in the form of Swayam or in the form of Swayam Prabha, or in the form of the Diksha, the many platforms to be innovative techniques to be introduced for teaching, and just to attain the global standards and create a new benchmark for the education system. Now, sweeping the changes and in opening up the institutions, also multiple exit options are there, and discontinuation of the MPhil program is there. Along with this, for us, as we are the stakeholders, the teachers are also encouraged to use the bilingual approaches and the teaching learning material also in the bilingual. I hope it will happen. And with those students whose home language may be different from the medium of the instruction, as whenever I give the lecture, or I interacted with my friends of the south of the Tamil Nadu, they usually say this thing, that my kid is facing the problem in learning Hindi. They are looking for the subject in Tamil only. So similarly in my area too, we are facing the problem in that. So the medium of the instruction, the home language may be different from the medium of the instruction. They have focused. I don't know whether what will be that, what will happen. Now, the purpose of this is basically, they are saying in these papers, what I came across, the purpose is to frame the quality education and to make the meaningful lives. For the quality education, they are also initiating towards certain steps to create the education qualitative, with the help of more focus on the discussions, more skill labs, more vocational trainings, and along with that, more vocational trainings, more skill labs, and along with that, they are focusing on exploratory, collaborative, experimental teaching system, while imparting the knowledge, while imparting the teaching skills to the teachers too. Create the greater opportunity for the individual employment, also contribute towards the economic independence of the country too. So that's why they focus on these courses, the technical courses as well as the other courses. They focus on the industry interface. Industrial training is must. In case the student is interested to leave the course, he or she can leave the course within the middle and can get the certificate, provided some research extensive training is taken by him, or provided he has taken some experience in industry, relevant industry. Key to more vibrant and more socially engaged cooperative communities. For that purpose too, the education system they are looking for to change. A happier, cohesive, cultured, productive, innovative, and for the prosperous nation they are looking for, and this policy is actually focused. Now, what are the principles of the policy? They are focusing on the various principles. The main principle to create the creativity and to generate a vibrant potential, they are focusing on or fostering the unique capabilities of each individual. Holistic development to be there, both in academic and non-academic spheres. They are considering yoga also on one side. They are considering the life skill on the another side in this, along with the academics. Now, the student has a full right and the ability to choose any learning program as per his or her choice or interest or the talent. Choice was earlier there, but now is he or she has that opportunity to think a lot, think properly, choose his or her own path in life according to the talent and the interest. More focus on no separation, hard separation within the art and the science, between this curriculum curricular and extracurricular activities or between the vocational or the academic streams. More so, they are focusing higher priority on the foundation literacy and the numeracy. Now, they emphasizes on, as I repeat again, the conceptual understanding rather than the rote learning to frame a good individual, to form a good human being across the globe. Creativity and the critical thinking also encourage the logical decision makings, ethics to be framed, promote multilingual, promote multidisciplinary to create a vibrant individual, cooperation, coordination with the help of imparting the projects to the individual, projects to the students, and focus on more on the communication lab. Again, in this communication lab, the focus is not only of the English, but also can be of the multilingual or of our regional language. Focus regular on the formative assessments rather than the summative assessments, which encourages coaching culture. They focus, mentoring focused, and along with this, our students who are actually Divyang, means who are facing some physical problem, they should be provided, they should be properly given the help with the help of the extensive use of the technology. With that help, the books, notes, teaching aids, each and every facility to be provided to the Divyang student. Not only this, they also covered our social weaker section students to whom actually each institute failed to cover. They also focus on that. They treated the policy focuses on this. The main principle is to consider the curriculum and the pedagogy or the policy while keeping in mind that education is a concurrent subject, means it is an ongoing learning process, and where the need is to respect the diversity, respect the local context too. Along with this, the unity, equity, and inclusion, though to be focused, which is, as I said, that is the SDG. In the SDG goal also, they framed and they focus on that policy, that how to attain that lofty goal of the a lofty goal of the equity and the inclusion. The policy principle also focus and consider that point too, where on the another side, from the school education till the higher education they are considering, and when they frame this policy, or when they are considering these principles, the papers or the policy frame makers, they consider and they decided that these to be attained by 2030. But they are on the another side, they also focus this point, that by 2040 the higher education institutions, they shall aim to become the multidisciplinary institution and aim to be the largest student enrollments preferred in thousands. But for right now, by 2030, the institutions to be focused or to be planned to become only multidisciplinary by 2030. And then gradually they can satisfy and gradually increase the student strength to the desired level. But again, here the question is provided, what about the faculty? What about our eminent professionals? Again, the ratio should be matched, the ratio should be there, equal ratio, or the balanced ratio should be there, which is actually right now we are facing crunch. Along with this, the teacher is treated as the heart of learning process. They treat that without teacher, it is not possible to cover all these things. Whereas the student education is important, the student is vibrant, and the need is to make the education system at the global level, at that quality should be at the global level. On the another side, dear friends, they also focus that we, the teacher or the faculty, is also the heart of the learning process, and through the recruitment, continuous assessment, professional development, positive working environment, service conditions, each and everything should be in a row. There should also be, the need is to be consider each and every point very seriously, and the need is to cover up those gaps which are actually right now and even since long the teachers are facing. Along with this, they said this thing, the focus is light but tight, the regulatory framework. There is no need to talk about that. This, I think, NAC system and rest of the systems everyone is aware of. Then on these were the principles which were considered, though were in the mind, and that leads to consider or to frame a policy that is a new forward-looking vision for India higher education system. Or if I say to make a Vishwa Guru to Bharat is not wrong. The quality higher education aim to develop the good, thoughtful, well-rounded, or the creative individual or the holistic individual, from the rote learning to the practical experimental learning, or to develop an ethical character, intellectual character, or generate the curiosity. Or this vision is for this higher education system, where it includes a range of the disciplines, that is science, social science, humanity, art, language, and professional subjects are professional subjects, engineering subjects, management
understand
subjects,
this.
and
Then
the
the abstract
vocational
analysis,
subjects
the
are
author
there.
has mentioned
So,
3 patterns in the terms of adaptation theory, but fails to state anywhere in the article about.
excuse me.
Sorry, madam, you can continue.
Okay.
Yeah, someone is actually open. Right.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Right.
Then quality higher education system, the quality education system also focus that enable the personal accomplishment, personal enlightenment of the teacher as well as of the student, public engagement, productive contribution to the society. See here, when I came across that NRF, but they have created for that research fund, they said this thing, that now for the teachers as well as for the students, the need is to submit the subject or the project which is related to the society service. The most prominent subjects like water, like road facility, like any other poverty, employment needs, for those points which are actually affecting to the social system. On those points, the need is to go ahead with the research, provide the relevant solutions to the government, so that the government can take the action. In this it is written, whereas it also indicate that the need is to prepare the student meaningful and satisfying life, work roles, and let them do the best for the economic development. Holistic individuals, I have already discussed. At the societal level, the higher education system must enable the development, social consciousness among them, that what they are supposed to do, how they are supposed to do, what to do for the society. This subject is also included in the in their new curriculum. Skill nation, robust solution to the problem, that is focused. More so, the higher education must form the basis of knowledge creation and innovation, contribute towards the nation economy, and let this contribution to be shared shared across the world, across the globe, which they have also discussed. The policy in vision, after all, what is this? They said that complete overhaul and the complete re-energizing the higher education system to overcome these challenges is to deliver the quality higher education system with the help of, number one, equity and inclusion, number two, with the help of the good medium of instructions, with the help of the multidisciplinary vibrant aspect, with the help of the faculty as well as the institution autonomy. That freedom is required. The pedagogy system and the curriculum system to be considered. The need is to change it. The need is to discuss with them and let us do some changes in that. On the basis of that only, those should be framed. Along with that, enhance the student experience while providing them the experience. Earlier, what happened in management students, in engineering students, whatever the subject is, they were supposed to get the trainings, industrial trainings. Now they impose this thing on each and every field. They are saying one vocational subject. Along with that, required to get interaction community. beneficial. Along with this, it focuses on the curriculum pedagogy, assessment, and the student support for enhance the student experience. Along with this, the leadership positions with the institutions for the merit appointments. Usually it not happens, the appointment is not actually on the basis of the merit, and the career progression is also not in certain cases. I'm not saying in every case. So they also teaching on these three to be considered a lot in case of the career progression. Sir, is it possible to remove the annotation if anyone is not interested, or is it imposed?
Yeah,
Anyhow,
madam.
it is imposed, sir.
Yeah. I can check it.
Okay, thank you. Otherwise, I have no problem if anyone, the one who is annotating, he or she can also speak. Mr. Harish is there.
Harish
Harish
Sriram.
Sriram is there.
Yes. Harish Sriram. Who is Harish Sriram?
I
Who is
have no
Harish
problem
Sriram?
with
Please
the-
unmute yourself.
I have.
Harish
Anyhow, sir,
Sriram.
let me speak.
Okay, madam. Carry on. Carry on.
Then we focus on the National Research Foundation, which I keep on talking about, which is really give us a bit of a thrill that why not we can do. So this National Research Foundation is also set up to fund the outstanding peer research, peer reviewed search. Otherwise, we know very well right now what is the situation of the research and what is the situation of the Scopus journal and all that, how the payments are there and what is practically going on. So for that purpose, they said they focus on this thing. Let us seed the research in the universities. Let us frame the research intensive universities, and let us focus on the teaching learning intensive universities too, as well as the colleges too. And now their policy is, the focus is on that out of this fund, the best or the outstanding papers, they will be reimbursed, and certain support will be given to the faculty members who are actually the eminent faculty members. Along with this, the governance of the higher education is by highly qualified independent boards should be there, and which comprises of both, that is academic as well as the administrative autonomy. Both should be there, then this governance to be handled. Then light but tight rule should be there, and which is the regulation by the single regulatory. Again, in this regulatory system, they also did do lot of changes. The 3 panels are now there, and also they focus on equity and inclusion, which I had discussed already. Whereas the outstanding public education and the scholarships, though are by the private universities, and for the disadvantages or the unprivileged students, online education or the ODL, that is open distance learning, all infrastructure learning material that is to be accessible and available to all the learners with the disabilities, which is actually right now it is not there, which is in their policy that is to be accessible. Another point which is actually in the limelight, or which is highlighted by this policy, is that institutional reconstruction and consolidation. That is, as they said, that we are going to frame a panel, and which panel comprises of 2, again, that is academic and non-academic, both to be there, and again with their consent, the vibrant skill or the vibrant brains or vibrant community is going to be framed. Whereas in case of the institutional reconstructions and consolidation, I have taken a little bit of this because we are not related to the reconstruction, but still it is important. The focus is, number one, that they focus that build the vibrant communities, again the knowledge hubs sort of, which is actually nowadays in Gurgaon side, they have already started these knowledge hubs in their universities, where the 2,000-3,000 or more students are there, and these knowledge hubs are created with multidisciplinary. The people are with different skills, different knowledge, and from the different zone they are in these hubs. They build these multi-vibrant communities and the multidisciplinary communities, which are well-rounded. And then this relates to increase in their resource efficiency, material efficiency, human skill, which sir had also talked about, the human skill, technical skill, and the material skill. And also these hubs are going to enhance or going to focus on the research. Along with this, the new conceptual perception or understanding of that what constitutes a higher education, how to frame a higher education in a college or in a university, high quality education, high quality teaching, research, and the community engagement, which is actually added in this. And here they said that this again is framed, or this again is foreseen by 2030. Whereas along with this, they focus the transparent system, graded accreditation that will be established, and the colleges will be encouraged to mentor, support, and incentivize to gradually attain the minimum benchmark for each level of the institution. Focus again on the equality and the inclusion. Along with this, their focus is to gain the skill and to impart the skill to the students from the childhood, because right now I'm taking only the higher education, not childhood system, where again from the childhood they are talking about to impart the skills too. As in the if I talk about the childhood, or if I talk about in this system where they consider the brain development of in a child, it happens at the age of the 6. So the new system 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 formula that provides the strong underpinning with first 5 years dedicated to the fundamental or the foundational learning. So that is followed by the regular assessment of the academic growth through preparatory, middle, and the secondary stages. So NEP here focuses on from the root learning to the in-depth understanding, or I can say the conceptual or the cognitive creation or the cognitive capability. Now the holistic and the multidisciplinary education that is focus on the vocational fields. Earlier two the vocational fields are there, but now more emphasizes on the vocational fields which were not focused earlier. Now in this vocational field, they again set up a club that I am going to share in the next slide. That is professional fields, medicine, engineering, soft skill, soft labs to be generated more and more discussions emphasizes, more communication, more debates to be emphasizes, liberal art, increase in the faculty and the institution autonomy in the curriculum. They can prepare there and they can object to. Now, whatever they are going to prepare. Pedagogy emphasizes on communication, discussions, debates, not only on the notebook reading or on the book teaching. They focus on the interdisciplinary thinking. Whatever the research topic is, the cross-disciplinary and the interdisciplinary is focused more. Optimum learning environment is required, where the high quality pedagogy with the help of the cross-disciplinary, multidisciplinary, and the creative thinkings with the help of the more and more field experiences and the technical, vocational, all those things to be included. Along with this, the continuous formative assessment rather than the summative assessment for the quality learning. The scientific assessment methods to assess the test application of the knowledge, that after all, what is the topic and how the topic is actually understandable by the student in practical form, how he or she is going to apply that knowledge in practical instead of learning or reading the book and appearing from the exam. Their focus is whatever the suitable resources and the infrastructure is, the need is to provide proper resource in the terms of the books, in the terms of the area of research, in the terms of area of getting the experience, or in the terms of the teaching aids. And infrastructure too, sitting arrangement and all that, LED, mobiles and all that stuff. The learning environment should be engaging, supportive, and it should enable all the students to succeed. Then they focus on this. The focus on this point is that high quality support centers to be set up. Those support centers, they are going to support not only to the students but also to the teachers, that if they are facing any problem, they will be counseled by the support centers, and those support centers, they will impart them the proper training. Actually, dear friends, I hope you agree that these support centers are already in, not in teaching right now in exact way, but in the companies, in where the support centers are there, and they are supporting to their team members that how to deal with the particular situation, either in the terms of physical or in the terms of the psychological. They are helping to their employees, which they are considering right now. Along with this, the professional, academic, and the career counseling, to the students. Now the teacher to act as a counselor, also to consider their emotional well-being. For these support centers are set up for the teachers too, that how to deal with it. Earlier what happened, in every school and in the college it is prescribed, though in the schools I came across number of the psychologists are there who the career counselors are there who deal with the career counseling, but actually not able to deal the exact point of career counseling. They are just trying to let them know that this is the course, what is in the course, and how to deal with the course, what is the fees, and when is the exam, and all that. But no, they are going to deal that emotional well-being, then what are the problems they are facing, everything they will help, and which is actually their main reason for the career counseling as well as for the professional counseling. Now the faculty, they will have the capacity and the training to approach to the students, not as a teacher but as a mentor as well as a guide, which is given even in the B.Ed education system also, that to deal with this. But now it is now they are saying that they are going to focus or to implement on the teachers. Then is after all, what is the glimpse? Actually, the glimpse on the whole this higher education institution is basically, or and through this policy, what we came across, or what I came across in short way, I am going to share with you. That is, the credit based courses and the projects are there in the area of the community engagements or in the services. Environmental education, value education system should be there, value based education to be there. Then is we have one subject, that is value education, but now again in this they are going to change that. Here the students at the higher education institutions, they said that it is that opportunities for internships in the local industry with the businessman, artist, craft, anywhere, as well as a research internship with the faculty as well as with the researchers, that is considered. That is considered, but it is very poor thing that they are saying that that should be at their own level only, not at the burden of the institution. And then is again where the institution, they must have a strong tie-ups if they are going to help the students, then only they will help them, they help the students. Then the students, they must be actively engaged on the practical side of learning and as of the byproducts. Improve the employability is the basic fundamental on the for the which only their focus is there. So now they have broadened the horizon, not from the industry, artist, craft, everywhere. Then the certificates, they are focusing that the certificate after completing the 1 year in any discipline or the field, including vocational, if it is, or any professional area, or diploma after 2 years of the study, then the bachelor degree is after the 3 year of the program. Whereas the 4 year multidisciplinary, if the multidisciplinary concept is there, then is the 4 year bachelor degree program. So it shall be preferred option. So it allows them the opportunity to experience full range of the holistic and the multidisciplinary education, if it is going to apply. Now, in addition to this, it focuses on choose the major and the minor subjects. Again, the choice of the student is there. Then they also focus and they also convince on the point that let us set up a ABC. ABC is said as a academic bank of credit. this academic bank of credit to be established, and which would digitally store the academic credits which is earned from the various institution, right? So that the degree from that institution can be awarded while taking into the account the how much credit he or she student has earned. Then they also focus that the 4-year program, whatever this bachelor degree 4-year program is, that leads to the degree with research. And if the student complete that rigorous research projects in major subject, because he has chosen the major and the minor subject, if in the major subject, then that is specified that the degree is in that research subject. This is the another change. Then is the focus is on the ODL, that is the open distance learning, and the e-education, that is most important right now because we are facing from this situation where the open and the distant learning and the online education, the natural path to increase access of the higher education, quality higher education. So their focus is more on this in order to leverage the potential. Also, as the sir said, the internationalization. So internationalization aspect is also focused, and that is also convinced by them. That is in this policy that more and more mobility of the student in India and from India for the visit and recognition of the Indian education in outside country. More and more visit for research too, for experience too. Then internationally relevant curriculum is required in science field, in social science fields. Opportunities of social engagements, quality residential facilities, on-campus support, etc. should be there. These kind of supports should be there. Foster to attain the goal, the main goal, that is a global quality education, global quality standards, and greater number of the international students to be welcomed, which is said as the goal to be attained by the institutions in the form of the internationalization at home, which I feel very quite interesting if it is possible, because that will help us too. Then the research collaborations is also focused. Student exchange is also focused between the Indian institution and the global institution. That is also promoted, that will be promoted through the special efforts. If we find any student who is actually doing a great research. The highlights. Dear friends, the highlights of this actually National Education Policy 2020 is the student activity and participation. Main, that is the vibrant campus life for high quality teaching learning process. Again, for this purpose, the need of an hour is the education institutions to be more work focused on teachers also, as well as on the resources also, as well as on the institution framework also. Then counseling systems to handle the stress, emotional adjustments. More and more support system, student care centers required to be set up. More and more support system to the students of the rural background, economic weaker background. That is the main highlight. Another highlight is medical facility. Quality medical facility is required, not only the first aid box is required. So the quality medical facilities, they are focused on. Financial support to the students, national scholarship portal to be there, which is already there, but again some problems are there. So that is to foster, to support, and to track the progress of the students who are receiving these scholarships, whether they are genuine and actually they are performing well or not. Then also encourage to offer the larger number of the free ships or the scholarships to the students, so that they are encouraged more and more from the rural areas or from the another weaker section areas. They are encouraged to study and to get this with the help of the scholarship. So everyone to be educated and to be get the good education. Motivated and energized capable faculty, because quality and the engagement of the faculty is required. Again, the engagement of the faculty, the pool of knowledge, the knowledge pool to be set up for the faculty, so that they will be properly trained, properly counseled, and to be emotionally healed to, with the help of the good system from the recruitment till their promotions. Then faculty motivation in the terms of the teaching, research, and service to be focused. Happy, motivated, capable faculty is required. Empower the faculty too for taking the decisions, for taking some actions. Along with this, the innovative teaching, innovative research to be focused more, to be encouraged more for the teachers, so that they can help their students too. Along with this, classrooms, they also talk about the classrooms, that is the infrastructure, which I keep on talking, that infrastructure, how to develop that infrastructure. They said that classrooms to be assessed properly, more accessible, more latest education technology to be there, to provide the better learning experience, better learning environment to be there. More, the vision of the autonomous institution is to impart the drive excellence. So that is possible with the help of this. Now, the institutional leaders, no doubt, they also talk about this, that the institution leaders aim to create a culture of excellence, and that culture of excellence will be possible if you motivate and incentivize the outstanding innovative teaching system, teaching institutions, teaching research, or the communities. Those leaders, or those faculty members, or those education institutions to be motivated, to be incentivized to excel in the education system. Along with this, the another highlight is that the equity and the inclusion in the higher education with the help of the social economic disadvantaged groups to be encouraged more, to contribute more, and encouraged more to come up for the education, to get the education. Along with this, the teacher education, here they talk about us, that as we also are the stakeholders. So they are saying that whereas on the another side they are talking about the student and the parent pool, on the another side the teacher education, who is actually the heart of the learning and the teaching process, here for that purpose to create a pool of school teachers that will shape the next generation, and again it is by 2030. And this pool with wide variety of the experts from the different streams, from the multilingual as well as with the multidisciplinary people to be in this pool. And along with this, with this wide range, the teachers must be grounded in Indian values, Indian ethos, and Indian languages, knowledge, and traditions, so that they can impart and also can share their all these points, all these extra points, or these the additional skills, whatever he or she is having with the with this group. With this group means with this pool, so that the multilingual and the multidisciplinary exchange will be possible. And also they should be well versed in the latest advanced education pedagogy. So whatever the latest advanced pedagogy, they are required to be well versed. So for this purpose, they are also focusing on the wide range of the experts, means a pool of the teachers, again from the school till the higher education level, so that we can focus on the multidisciplinary. Because firstly they are focusing on the teachers. So if the teachers get more skilled, if the teachers come out of this process, then only they can help the students. Then is reorient the PhD program. A little bit I'm sharing that all the fresh PhDs, the entrants, irrespective of any discipline, they are required to take the credit-based courses. Now, in these credit-based courses, in teaching, in education, in pedagogy, writing, were related to choosing the PhD subjects during the doctoral period training time. So they are required to get these courses, take the credit from these courses. More so, the exposure to the pedagogical practices, as these are only in the B.Ed program. But here they included that pedagogical practices ensuring so that they ensure that many research scholars will go on to become the faculty. So these pedagogy practices to be included in this. Along with this, the PhD student, the minimum hour of the practice, the minimum hour of the teaching experience, now it is also included in this. And along with this, the teaching assistantship or through any mean, that is also included, that to be gathered, and in that number of hours this is gathered. Then is, because earlier that is only for the GRF students, not for the, but now they added for everyone. Again, as I talk about the NRF is created, the National Research Foundation. This fund is created, this National Research Foundation, where the policy innovation is the equitable peer review research fund. This research fund is there, and which helps to develop the culture of research. Again, the qualitative research satisfying and serving to the society, societal issues, societal contributory research to be enhanced and to be focused more, suitable incentives, and for the recognition of the outstanding research which it focused. Now, the transforming, as I said, the transforming of the regulatory system of the higher education, it transforms. Here transforming is in 4 structure. They set up 4 independent verticals are there within the one umbrella. So within one umbrella, when the 4 structures are there, that is HECI, that is the Higher Education Commission of India. First vertical will be the National Higher Education. Then NHERC, which is to regulate the light but tight framework, definitely for the good governance, full online and offline public self-disclosure, so that everyone be able to understand that what is going on and what kind of fund is there and how they generate and how many actually the students are reading or studying, and it should be at the public disclosure. Technical institutions, they include degree or the diploma program for engineering, say for pharmacy, for architect, for the town planning, or any other, which is actually critical to the India overall development. And the need is, they focus that this regulatory focuses on this point, that for these, the need of collaboration with the industry or with the higher education institution is required, so that some innovations and the research in these fields is possible. More and more research is possible, more and more industry focus will be possible. Technical education, where it aim is to offer within the multidisciplinary education institutions more opportunities to be generated deeply with the other disciplines. Along with this, where we all are aware of, where AI and the 3D or machine learning, all these data analysis are already there, nanotechnology, neuroscience, and many other in the health field as well as in the engineering field is there, for the sustainable living that is woven into the undergraduate education, just to enhance the employability of the youth. Now these are also added. For the quality teaching learning, their focus is Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat, where they actually focus on that the 100 tourist destinations in the country they have identified, and where the education institutions are supposed to send their student to study the history, culture, tradition, literature, Indian ethos. And another point, they focus on apnapan, which is said in Hindi, means the apnapan, where the point is they focus that promotion of the Indian culture, Indian language, Indian art, that is up to uplift the society culture. Focus on the Muhim, focus on this point, apnapan too. Along with this, the quality technology-based options, adult learnings, apps, online courses, modules, TV blended education, which will also be focused, as right now Vedanta and all that, they are already on the TV blended education. But UGC and MHRD, we are also all in the process. If any one of you is also involved in this, We are also in the process of framing that TV blended education now, already through IGNOU, that is already there in the air, but now more and more projects are there in the UGC and MHRD. And here this policy that mandates all the teachers, all the principals to take at least 50 hours of the continuous professional development, which is very nice step, I think so. The 50 hours of the continuous professional development workshops each year, just to refine teaching skill and techniques. Then technology platforms, also focus on the technology platforms. Swayam, Diksha, I hope everyone is aware of these. So these online teaching training programs for the teachers will be encouraged, training programs, and for the large number of the teachers, and for a short span of time, easy accessible, anytime you can join, and anytime whenever you feel like to read, you can read. It's again up to you. So these programs are there. National mission for the mentoring, that is also established, which with large pool of the retired outer senior faculty members, our respected faculty members who have the ability to teach, not only the ability but have the one lot of knowledge, and they love to share that knowledge with the other faculty members, or help them to, or love to support to the college teachers or to the universities. They can join that. This is in the form of the short term or for the long term mentoring or the professional support by this national mission. Also, the MHRD focuses on this point, that NCIVE is vocational, as I keep on talking about, because it emphasizes a lot on this. Earlier too, we have vocational courses like stenography, insurance course, and so many courses. But now the point is, they are saying this thing, that the National Committee for the integration of the vocational education is to find out the skill gap. On the basis of the skill gap analysis, map the local opportunities and provide that, like in the form of craftsman, like in the form of plumber, in this way. So here this national, they also focus on this point, national skill qualification framework. I hope if your institution is using this NS skill program, because we are using this skill program, we have framed our own courses of skill program and get the approval also from the this NSQF. And these programs are really very good, like small programs like cooking, catering, stenography, like these skill programs are there. Now they impose this thing that the need is to create one vocational program, and for every institution here they are focusing on this point, set up a skill lab. And with the help of this NSQF, while considering that, they provide the certificate again in the form of, if any student join this course, through this national skill program, with the 6 month, this diploma will be there, and after 1 year the postgraduate, after 1 year this certificate, 6 months certificate will be there, and the 1 year the diploma will be there. And in this way the person can get the degree of 3 years in that skill program only, with the help of this national skill program. And again, now they are focusing on this point, the need is to set up a skill lab in each and every institution and review the vocational system also, because in that earlier the vocational system is just to provide them the training, and hand-on-hand training is there, but now they focus on industry phase training, industry phase experience also in that, short-term course in this NSQF to be there, that is said as Lok Vidya, which I keep on talking about, the value education. So they said that this program this short course to be added in your education system in the degree program, so that on the basis of this only they will get a degree, diploma or a degree, but this is required, or some research intensive. Then their focus is India become a global leader. Now the global leader in ICT The Digital India campaign is already there, everyone is aware of, where the entire nation is focused or pushed towards the digital empowered society or the knowledge economy. Their focus, new technologies, AI, ML, and blockchains, all are there. The students to be empowered with all these extensive research, both technological and educational fronts, though are required. Autonomous body of again another autonomous body they are saying, they are talking about, that is National Education Technological Forum. Again, for this technology, they have set up this new forum. This forum is for the induction, for deployment, for use of technology it is. And again, they are imparting this knowledge, or what I can say, the leadership to the institutions or to the colleges, so that they can impart this knowledge to their teachers, to the students also. And again, for this, they are saying the lab to be set up, one more lab. Whereas I talk about communication lab, vocational lab, and this another two, which is already, I think, there in engineering colleges. Then the online courses with the education system, they are focusing on the blend of the online and the offline, both to be there with the traditional teaching. Now, the blend of online and the blend of vocational program with the undergraduate is required. And here they offer the target learning in low expertise task too. Means in low expertise task too, you can get that training, because they talk about the localized. That's why nowadays we keep on listening, go local, go vocal. So vocal and local. So that is the reason. More so, the another platforms to disseminate the information, that is Swayam, about which we all are aware of. Diksha, Swayam, content developers, they create the user friendly qualitative content. As right now I am also in this process. So these are the facilities which are available. These are the points which are there, which are in the policy, where the MHRD also identify the technologies to demand the response of the education system. Then the National Research Foundation, they say this thing, that the National Research Foundation should cover the three approaches. The three approaches is to advance this AI research and develop or deploy the application based research. Whatever the research is, that should be application based, not only bookish based, that is only in the book and we can read and we can prepare the papers, not at all. Then serve to the society, for the community, that should be applicable in the society, benefited to the economical development or to the nation development. Along with this, the global challenges, either in the terms of healthcare or in the terms of engineering or in the terms of agriculture, that should be beneficial and should be applicable. Policy recommendations, few policy recommendations which I feel like to share with you, which I feel are important and to be discussed. The policy recommendations is that teacher to be provided a suitable training to be effective online educator. Number one, the online educator will be in the demand. Whenever they think of to prepare this policy, the blended education system, experimental activity based learning to be focused. Now they are not focusing on rote learning only. They are focused on pilot studies for online education with the help of NIOS, IGNOU, IIT. About these, all of you are aware of. The digital infrastructure, their focus is invest, create, and open. Let every faculty to be evolve in this digital infrastructure program to make the education system or the education sector qualitative. Let it be more qualitative, let it be more vibrant from the teachers. Along with this, the online platforms, Diksha, Swayam, eDiksha, Vidyamitra, many are there. They will be extended to provide the teachers, not for students, but for the teachers, with structured, user-friendly or assistive tools to help them to understand how to understand the progress of the learner. Then content creation. For the content creation, dissemination, and their this digital repository, here they also focus on this. Let us train and get the training from these clubs of teaching with the help of games, with the help of certain social interactive techniques, with the help of the more and more discussions, with the help of more and more collaborative or the cognitive techniques to or critical thinking ways, so that teaching will be more experimental and will be more provided to the more beneficial to the society. At the societal end we are supposed to do. So that's why they have created this hub. So that's why for the creation of the coursework, for learning games, for simulation and all these, they developed this depository to help us as well as for the students, so that we can disseminate apps, gamifications, even along with it, that Indian art, Indian culture, Indian language to be more respected by the Indian as well as by the globe. That is also created, that is also focused, and for that purpose also the clear instructions also created in this policy. Virtual labs, as we talk about virtual labs, Diksha, Swayam Prabha, they will be leveraged to create the virtual labs where equal, earlier we don't have labs, now they generate the labs where equal access, quality, hand-on experimental training, hand experience is possible. Training and incentive for teachers. Training and incentive both are there for the teachers. Now training and incentive for the teachers are there in the terms of the learner-centric pedagogy. High quality online content creator themselves can frame their content. They can, if they get the permission, they can also upload that. Online teaching learning platform and tools they provide to those teachers. So for these projects, online assessment and examination, coincidentally, which is a need of an hour right now, but anyhow, they propose Parak, they propose school board, they propose NTA. Blended model of learning is basically focused by them. And for the online assessment, these national assessment centers are more focused, and the appropriate bodies more focus on blended model of the learning. Standards, the global standards, their focus is on that. Online digital education system, content, technology, pedagogy to be focused more, that how to use these for online as well as for the online digital teaching as well as for the learning. At the end, the agenda of the whole policy, the national education policy, is affordable and quality education to all. That is the basic agenda. Thank you for patiently listening and cooperation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Yeah, you shared wonderful information to the society and main today's delegates. They enjoyed a lot. This useful information about new education policy. Now, actually, we don't know basics, but we received so much basic information from you. Thank you very much, madam. Now, next session is the big personality, another Professor Chennappa. Now I request to Dr. Rupaveni, please introduce our Professor Chennappa. Over to Rupaveni.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good evening, respected principal and the speakers for today's session, that is on national education policy. I, Dr. Rupaveni, Associate Professor, Aristotle PG College, take the privilege of reading the profile of Professor D. Chennappa Garu, Principal of Commerce, University College of Commerce and Business Management, Usmania University, Hyderabad. Sir has got a 27 years of vast experience in teaching, which includes research also. Sir, under his guidance, awarded 8 PhDs and 2 MPhils, and remaining 8 are under pursuing their dissertations work. Sir has published more than 18 books and 43 articles in his total experience. Presently, Sir is the founder of Usmania Journal of International Business Studies and also Global Research Academy publication. Sir also participated in many social and community services like Treasurer, SCST OU Association from 2013 to 2016, General Secretary, University from 2019 to till date, and also the General Secretary, Telangana Commerce Association 2019 to 2021. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rupaveni madam. Thank you very much. Now over to Channappa sir. Before of that, we middle of the session, we will provide feedback to you. Please submit your feedback. Then you will get the certificate directly through your mail, and don't miss it. Write correct mail to us, and then we will provide to you. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Professor Channappa, please.
Thank you, the Aristotle College, and at the outset, I thank the Dr. L. Srinivas Reddy, Director and Principal of that college. I really wondered to learning or listening from to Dr. Reena Gij. Dr. Reena Gij, she's a Dean, Quality and Research. She's from Vidyajyoti Institute of Higher Education from Chandigarh. Really, we learned many things. Then we thought of have an eye on to higher education, since it has not yet implemented. But here and there, we participated in the discussion and learning from this Dr. Reena Gij. Very excellent. I can tell you that she has come up with a real picture onto this. What is this new education policy is expecting that her word, or this is the main objective of this higher education, is affordable education and quality education for needy people. Yes, as a person, I would like to brief about it, since listening this, what could be the changes and what are the expectations were there. Actually, down the line I will speak, then I will come to this, how it is going to affect and what is the observations I made it. They're going to the down the line. We had the 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus we have, but it has changed to the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 and plus plus. This 5 is called as a fundamental education. Then plus 3 called as a preparatory education. And another 3 is called as a middle education. Then the 4 is called as a college education. And the main aim of this education and the changing of the structure of education is from 3 years to 18 years is compulsory education for all citizens of our country, or our children. And the another main aim of this new education policy should be flexible education system. Any subject they can take whenever they want it. And 6th class onwards, so they can go for the coding and vocational education. Again, they mentioned that in the intermediary, there is no intermediary course now. And in going to the after degree also, there is no MPhil course as such now. Again, they mentioned that the multilingual, that is a 3-language system, they have adopted. It is a wonderful step by the this new education policy. Again, one look about to the schooling education, they mentioned that the bagless days, some particular days, the students, children need not to carry the bags. Then the coming about to the particularly college for their admissions, that the central government under testing agency, they are going to conduct the examination. Based upon the examinations, admissions are to be given. That is a wonderful, and again they have come up with the concept of one nation, one curriculum since the primary education onwards. Again, they have changed from the 3-year degree to 4 years degree. As I mentioned that they introduced the credit-based system. They introduced the diploma-based system also. The diploma-based system means suppose in between you would like to drop and appropriate diploma is going to be awarded. If you complete the 4 years, within the 4 years, so 3 years is a basic subject, 1 year is a research oriented one. If you complete, they can take the undergraduate certificate, and in between they would like to swap one program to another program, and very flexibility is also there. As I mentioned that academic credit transfer, body is also permitting to transfer it, and repository system is also there. How many credits earned at undergraduate level? Then that was this wonderful changes they have brought into the higher education system. But then the post graduation also they made it as either 1 year or 2 years. If you up to the is there, instead of 4 years, suppose one student after 3 years is there, again he would like to do these post graduation for him 2 years, whereas who has completed the 4 years undergraduation, for him only 1 year is post graduation is there. It's also a wonderful step. And then coming back to the some of the other issues like granting of autonomy to the private institutions. And after the implementation of this new education policy, once they started implementing the new education policy, over the next 5 years, when they started implementing this new education policy, over the next 15 years, all colleges should become autonomous. And we know the autonomous structure. And they can develop their own curriculum. They can conduct their own examination. They can award their own degree with the approval of the state or central universities. And the Maya give the autonomy to the affordable education for all the citizens or the children. That is $1 million question, as I mentioned that. Once autonomy is there, what is the purpose for colleges? If you flip the coin, the board may be autonomy or educational institution. The flip the coin, the aim of that institution might be earning profits. If they get the autonomy without any monitoring by any FX bodies or any universities or any state governments, the autonomy is given to the autonomous colleges. Now India is known for what? India is known for all, you know. That is a $1 billion question is there, how it is going to be happening in coming days. Again, another great changes they brought into the new education policy. There is a fees cap is there that is going to be fixed by the new education policy after the constitution of the various committees by state. Now again the $1 million question is there. All the educational institutions like which are going to be providing to the 5 plus 3 plus 4, are they following the fees cap? All they stick to the which are the fees cap provided by the state government or central government or this new education policy? What is the monitoring mechanism for it? What we are experiencing now? The fees regulation committee says that only 10,000 rupees. The private school management, they are collecting 10,000 rupees. For that, they are giving the receipt. Again, the building fund or extra curriculum fund, they are giving another receipt and collecting huge amount for that. Really, could we have the fees cap? That is again We have to think, we have to put a question for it. Again, they have mentioned about the concept of the teaching, they have come up with the concept of the teaching. Yes, we have to encourage the concept of the teaching. Then going to the digital platform. Really, madam mentioned so many platforms. Swayam, Diksha platform. Another one is Diksha Murthy platforms. He mentioned that so many platforms, so many digital platforms. Swayam is also the other platform we have. Now, the once digital platform, digital education is there. Now, think about the infrastructure of India and affordability of the children. So, what is the main objective of this new education policy? Providing compulsory education from the age of 3rd to 18. And you have the fees cap, and though there are mechanism is there, and the mechanism is how best it is going to be monitoring. There is a $1 billion question. Again, we have to rethink about it. We have to rethink about it. Again, coming to the universities level also, they clearly mentioned that there is no discrimination or differences between to the private university or public funded university or state university or central university. All universities are equal. And they have mentioned that they would like to equally funding. Once started equal funding, why should be a private university? Why it should be a scholarship is given in private universities. So therefore, this is another question is there. Is there. Mr. Bhupati Garu, yeah. My observation is there, private universities and public funded universities or state universities, either central universities may not be the same. You cannot park all the universities at one platform. If you think about that, we can park all kinds of universities at one platform. How could you differentiate it? Yes, new education policy, as Madam told you, that wonderful, so many great objectives we have, wonderful objectives we have. The Rangarajan, Professor Kasturi Rangarajan has come up with the wonderful objectives to provide the quality education and digital education, vocational education, and employability education, and computer-based education, and the interdisciplinary education, and as I mentioned, that credit transfer education, and they mentioned that diploma-based education, they mentioned that 6th class onwards vocationalization education, and SWAYAM learning education, online learning education, digital learning education. These are all mentioned that how would you reaching it? How do you reaching about it? So once you are parking all institutions at one platform, definitely that may be mesh. That is going to be mesh, and then the ones making as a 3rd to 8th compulsory education and free education for all, and in the guidelines of the Rangarajan committee, under the Rangarajan committee, clearly mentioned that central government should allot 6% of the GDP for higher education. Mr. Bhupati Garu, please be mute yourself. Then my again question is there. Really, would you, the central government is going to allot the 6% of GDP amount to the higher education? If it is happening, so we are the very fortunate enough to have it. Again, they have mentioned that faculty training should be given, online training should be given, but they have forgotten to mention that the ratio of the faculty members. The faculty members, the earlier commissions, Ellen Sham Petroda commission, they mentioned that 1:10, and another committee, Ramurthy committee, mentioned that 1:20. But in this commission, under this new education policy, Would you like to that one teacher is equal to one computer or one student? What is the proportion of the teacher and digital platform and the students? That could be the mention for this. That could be the very wonderful part. Then coming to the academic leadership. When the academic leadership, they need not mention in the anywhere into the higher education policies. The academic leadership must be there, when the visionaries must be there, and based upon the visionaries, they will run the entire institutions. So there are no visionaries, central based it, and you see this is our multicultural society now, multi-linguistic country we have, and we have the different kind of people. It is a typical Indians, we are all it, and bringing as only one platform, one nation, and one curriculum, and one academic pedagogy. So we have, if you go to Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh is different. If you go to the West Bengal, is different. Gujarat, but then the committee, they will come up with the local resources. This is the actual objective of the new education policy. What is the new education policy objective? Tap to the local resources. If you're sitting at national level, could you tap effectively? The national requirements are different and the state requirements are different. I would like to mention based upon the different areas. Then the another thing they have mentioned that we are going to have the research-based institutions. And they clearly mentioned that the categorization mentioned that to the agricultural research-based institutions, vocational research-based institutions, teachers training educational institutions, technical educations, and for this again bringing into the under one formula. That is the Higher Education Council of India. Bringing about to the one formula and one umbrella, bureaucratic problems will come. Our education system wants the decentralization, localization is required. Yes, some of the very important points, digitalization we will welcome, and tapping to the resources are we are welcome, and evaluation system we are welcoming, and definitely we will welcome the so many factors, skill based, vocation based, and credit transferring system. We will welcome about it. But the only thing is they're making as a Ek Bharata, Shrestha Bharata, Lokya Vidya. These are the not suiting to the. This is a multi-linguistic, multi-different cultural based society, and it should not be sovereignized. The education should not be sovereignized. As I mentioned that recently in Hindu paper, one educationist, one author wrote one article, and against that, what is that article means? Now the University Grants Commission, they have released one online learning curriculum, model curriculum they have developed for BA, BCom, BSc, and MCom and MA, all MBA. They have developed the curriculum, and for that also they have developed the BA honors. In that BA honors, they have developed the curriculum stating that this is a study of the Ramanujan profile. Swamiji Ramayana profile, he has mentioned that. And one is a historian. What is the basis concept of the history? What is the learning concept of the history? Instead of having learning concept of the history, history means it is 100 years ago and 200 years ago, but not like this is the person. So therefore, these are all the certain things are there. Still, this is a new education policy yet to be implemented. And of course, certain new things are research innovative, and they're the giving to the common factors for allotment of 6% of GDP things. Those are the things are welcome, but some of the things are must be addressed with the taking the opinion of the all educationists and making as a reaching to the all the people and providing to the affordable and quality educations to the Indian citizens. That could be the serve the purpose of the new education policy. In this few observations, really I thank the Aristotle PG College of Management, and particularly Dr. Lokasani Srinivasa Reddy. And I also thank all the listeners, more than 100 listeners. Since 2 hours, you have been listening and looking about your comments also, and very wonderful comments and wonderful participation. And also I congratulate this Aristotle College for getting to the double ISO certificates. I wish you that many more webinar and many more conferences will come and organize. I wish you that a grand success, and Renu Madam will be there. And Renu Madam, you would like to address any issues, you can address it, and anything. And thank you very much for patiently listening. Thank you, Madam.
Sir, thank you very much, Professor Garu. Is a wonderful information, and now 3 people is a welcome remarks and closing remarks, and wonderful is the main session. Is a beautiful. Is a most of the people they crossed 100. There most of the people are waiting, but not permitting. I am not permitting. Okay, now this is a wonderful session within 2 hours. We have any question and answer now on 5 minutes. So last 5 minutes, anybody you can ask question directly, unmute and directly you can ask. Already we posted is the feedback form. Already more 70 already, yeah. 21 people already they submitted feedback, they got certificate, they move out. So next and anybody.
Thank you, organizer. Thank you, Srinivas. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I'm requesting the Venkatramana, please give vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. A good evening to all eminent personalities. Myself, Dr. T. Venkatramana. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks. At the outset, I extend my sincere thanks to Professor R. Nageshwara Rao Garu, Head of the Department, Faculty of Business Management, Usmania University, for sharing the knowledge on new education policy amendments. Thanks for enlightening us, sir. I'm very much excited to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Professor D. Chenappa Garu, Principal, CCBM, Usmania University, for enlightening us by bringing the various objectives in new education policy. Thank you, sir. It's my honor to extend my thanks from my part to Dr. Renu Vijgaru, Dean, Quality and Research, College of Business Studies, Vidya Jyoti Institute of Higher Education, for elaborative delivery on academic and administrative practices in new education policy. Thank you, madam. It's my duty to extend my sincere thanks to Lion K. Krishna Reddy Garu, Chairman, Aristotle Education Society, for providing nice infrastructure and freedom to faculty community to bring these kind of programs to organize. Once again, thank you, sir. I'm very much proud to extend my heartfelt thanks to our young and dynamic Dr. L. Srinivasa Reddy Garu, Principal, Aristotle PG College, and today's webinar convener and moderator for taking pains to bring these nice programs throughout these kind of programs throughout the year for educating the students with these kind of initiatives. Thank you, sir. I extend my special thanks to all my faculty members who took forward steps to make this program success. Last but not least, any program cannot be successful until unless find good listeners like you all. Hence, I extend my thanks to all the participants, faculty members from other colleges, students, and print and electronic media, and supporting staff. Once again, thanks to everyone for making this program grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Venkatramana Garu. Is a wonderful, is a vote of thanks. All everyone is a remarkable message. And now this is my side on behalf of Aristotle PG College. The giving is a big claps to all people. Now, Dr. Srinivas Garu, please give any feedback from your side. Anurag Group of Anurag University. You are in line, sir. Okay, he's busy with other work. Already 65 people, 66 people, they got the certificate. Another is also, you will get a link, give the feedback and get the certificate. Don't worry. In case today you are not getting, tomorrow also we will provide to you. So everyone, once again, congratulations, Renu Madam Garu. It's a wonderful time you provided, and you and Uma Madam. So thank you very much. It's a welcome, it's a wonderful message. Thanks to all. Thanks to one and all. Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Okay. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, madam. Bye.